So I wanted to show you a hyper roll game that is on the new patch. It started off pretty interestingly because right off the bat it gave me what looked like was going to be redeemed. I could have also gone Draconic at this point, but Draconic doesn't seem very strong, so I opted into the redeemed to at least start. But when given a chance to get a Shadow tier, even though it doesn't necessarily fit too well into redeemed, I had to pick it up because some of the items you can make for it are just OP. I'm rolling down a little bit here because I want to see what else I can get and if I can strengthen my initial start so I don't lose too many points in the beginning. And now I'm given the option between redeemed or forgotten. Forgotten is really strong as you get to late game, but not necessarily in the beginning unless you have the perfect items, and I do not have those items yet. So at this point, I'm kind of juggling between the two, but luckily the redeemed is strong enough, and here you'll see me go against a forgotten combination where they started. But my redeemed team is able to beat theirs fairly easily and at least keep me from losing early game points. Now I get the chance to get a Shadow Rod. I'm guaranteed at least one Archdemon Staff of Immortality here, which is an absolutely incredible item because it gives 400% of a target's mana as health every time they cast. So your goal is to get it onto a character that has a high mana consumption, but will still cast fairly often. Warwick is a perfect character for this because he has a high mana cost at 100, and in addition, every time his ability kills, he'll instantly cast it again, and each cast will be gaining you 400 additional health, which heals instantly. Now, at least I have a Silver Warwick, and I can take these together and make the Archdemon Staff, with the potential for another if I can just get one more rod. And there it is. So now I can turn Warwick into a nearly unkillable, unstoppable machine. However, as you will quickly see, just having 3 Forgottens, even with a very difficult to kill Warwick, is not going to mean much. You need to get to 6 before anything really matters. And while my Warwick survives a lot longer than he should have here, I'm ultimately doomed because I don't have the 6 Forgotten I need to get the additional buff. At this moment, I'm still sort of clinging between the Redeemed and Forgotten, but I start building my Draven items in the hopes that I can get a Draven. So it's Infinity Edge, Last Whisperer, and at this point, I'm now looking and hoping to get a BF sword so that I can create a Bloodthirster. I'm using Varus as my item holder, but again, it's not going to matter much at this point because I need the 6 Forgotten to get the proper buff on Warwick, and or 6 Redeemed to get the proper buff on Varus. So I'm kind of stuck between 2 worlds.
Let's dance.
I silver up my Katarina so it gives me a little bit more Forgotten power, but I'm still not exactly where I need to be. This is a decision moment because I could either take the Vel'Koz or roll one more time and get exactly what I needed, which is the Draven. And then this is where luck comes in. I get my BF sword and a Nico's Help. That Nico's Help is going to allow me to have an instant Silver Draven with the perfect combination. Infinity Edge, Last Whisperer, Bloodthirster, and then 2 Nico's Help. And this is where Draven shines. We now have our 6 Forgotten, with a really strong Warwick in front and a ridiculously strong Draven in the back. And you will see how much damage Draven can do when he works from the back line. Here we can pick up an additional tier to make the regular staff on Warwick, which will make each one of his successive ults even more powerful. Throw a Zephyr onto Thresh, just so we can take one of their players off the screen. And as you can see, Warwick just acts as a pure tank, jumping to and fro, while Draven's able to take things out. My goal is to get to the 9 Forgotten. However, just in case that doesn't happen, I can pick up Mordekaiser so that I'm at least triggering the Legionnaire buff for Draven. I grab a Teemo to immediately sell so I can get some additional gold. Now with Viego, I can finally get rid of Leona, which will lose me the Knight buff, but pick up the Assassin buff for Katarina, which is important. Viego's only a bronze at this point, so he's not going to necessarily swing any fights, but I am going to be hoping to get a silver Viego before I'm done. And here's where we see the power that Warwick can bring into the fight, because you will watch as he kills targets with each of his successive ults, he's gaining health over and over again. We silver up our Victor, and now we actually have all 9 Forgotten, but we're not level 9 yet, so we can't put them all out. Thus, I'm keeping Mordekaiser in the game for now, rather than going with the silver Victor. Having Warwick jump from thing to thing, while Draven tears them apart from the back line, it can make quick work of people. John Warwick does his thing. Get our second Viego, and now it's time to actually go to the 9 Forgotten. I hold on to Mordekaiser for the moment, just in case I'm absolutely unable to get the next Viego. I buy a Teemo to sell for gold, because at this point health doesn't matter, but on the next roll, I get my silver Viego, and I'm now set. With 9 Forgotten, a silver Viego, and nearly unstoppable Warwick and Draven absolutely tearing things apart at the back end, I'm going to be very difficult to stop at this point. With one person to beat, I just moved Warwick over just in case they tried to Zephyr him, because that was my only concern. They instead went after my Draven, but it didn't matter because my Viego takes their Draven, and that's pretty much all she wrote for this game. Because with 2 Dravens on the board, and a Warwick with now over 5,000 health just from doing his ults, it's GG, 9 Forgotten, John Warwick and Draven together for the win.